Hello friends, today we are going to learn standard 10th lesson number 1, gravitations. The different concepts of gravitations we are going to recall in this first lesson. And the different points we are going to cover today in this lesson is first gravitation, circular motion and centripetal force, and the third is the Kepler's law. So in short, we are going to learn about the different concepts of gravitation as we have learned in the previous lesson, the gravitational force. The same we are going to continue but in somewhat in detailed manner. So first concept we are going to learn here is gravitation. As we have learned, the phenomenon of gravitation was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton. As the story goes, he discovered the force by seeing an apple fall from a tree on the ground. He wondered why all apples fall vertically downward and not an angle to the vertical. Why do they not fly off in horizontal direction? After much thought, he came to the conclusion that the earth must be attracting the apple towards itself, and this attractive force must be directed toward the center of the earth. The direction from the apple on the tree to the center on the earth is the vertical direction at the position of the apple, and thus the apple falls vertically downward. Now see the figure on the left side of your text which shows an apple tree on the earth. The force of an apple on the tree is toward the center of the earth, that is along the perpendicular from the position of the apple to the surface of the earth. The figure also shows the gravitation force between the earth and the moon. The distance in the figure are not according to the scale. Newton thought that if the force of gravitation acts on apple of the tree at different height from the surface of the earth, can it also act on object at even greater height much further away from the earth, like for example the moon? Can it act on even further objects like the other planets and the sun? Now we are going to get introduced to the great scientist Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton 1642 to 1727 was one of the greatest scientists of the recent times. He was born in England. He gave his laws of motions, equation of motion and theory of gravity in his book Principia. Before this book was written, Kepler had given 3 laws describing planetary motions. However, the reason why planets move in the way described by Kepler's law was not known. Newton, with his theory of gravity, mathematically deprived Kepler's law. In addition to this, Newton did groundbreaking work in several areas, including light, heat, sound, and mathematics. He invented a new branch of mathematics. This is called calculus and has wide-ranging applications in physics and mathematics. He was the first scientist to construct a reflecting telescope. Now we are going to learn about the concept of the circular motion and the centripetal force. As shown in the figure, just imagine we are holding the string and one stone is tied to the end of the string. Take the other end in your hand and rotate the string so that the stone moves along a circle as shown in the figure. Are you applying any force on the stone? In which direction is this force acting? How will you stop this force from acting? And what will be the effect of the stone? This is all we are going to learn in this concept. As long as we are holding the string, we are pulling the stone towards us, that is toward the center of the circle, and are applying a force towards it. The force stops acting if we release the string. In this case, the stone will fly off along a straight line which is tangent to the circle at the position of the stone when the string is released, because that is the direction of its velocity at that instant of time, as shown in the figure 1.2. You may recall that we have performed a similar activity previously in which a 5 rupee coin kept on a rotating circular disc flies off the disc along the tangent of to the disc. Thus a force acts on any object moving along a circle and it is directed toward the center of the circle. This is called the centripetal force. Centripetal force means center seeking, that is the object tries to go toward the center of the circle because of this force. Thus opposite to this centripetal force, the centrifugal force is there. Now we'll learn about the concept of the Kepler's law and its three laws. Planetary motion had been observed by astronomers since ancient times. Before Galileo, all observations of the planet's positions were made with naked eyes. By the 16th century, a lot of data were available about planetary positions and motions. Johannes Kepler studied this data. He noticed that the motion of the planets follow certain laws. He stated three laws describing planetary motion. These are known as Kepler's law, which are given below. Kepler's first law. According to this law, the orbit of a planet is an ellipse with the sun at one of the foci. As shown in the figure 1.4, shows the elliptical orbit of a planet revolving around the sun. The position of the sun is indicated by S. Kepler's second law. The line joining the planet and the sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. As shown in the figure, AB and CD are distance covered by the planet in equal times. That is, after equal intervals of time. The position of the planet starting from A and C are shown by B and D respectively. The straight lines AS and CS sweep equal area in equal interval of time. That is, area ASB and CSD are equal. Now, Kepler's third law. According to this law, the square of its period of revolution around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of the mean distance of a planet from the sun. Thus, if r is the average distance of the planet from the sun and t is its period of revolution, then t square is directly proportional to r cube. That is, t square upon r cube is equal to constant is equal to k. Kepler obtained this law simply from the study of the position of planets obtained by regular observations. He had no explanation as to why planets obey these laws. We will see below how these laws help Newton in the formulation of this theory of gravitation. Now the next remaining part we will see in the next session. If you have any queries, you can send it or write it in the comment box. Thank you.